ask you, I guess, about Lauren James. We saw that Chelsea put out a statement condemning all the racial abuse that she's experienced online. It seems to be a thing that you said that the performance of the most recent game was a whole team performance.
Yeah.
What has it been like talking to Lauren and I guess supporting her and seeing the abuse that you see online?
I think it's disgusting, the amount of abuse she's received from the public, from the media, from the press. We're talking about a young player here that, no question, is always working to learn in the background and bits and bobs, but some of the language I've seen used to vilify her externally, I think is unacceptable. I don't see the same level of abuse attributed to other players in the league who might have had their own challenging moments, and I think it's fair to say that if I'm in her position, I'd be thinking that there is racial profiling going on, and I think it's important for the country to recognise she's an important talent and she is learning all the time and she makes mistakes. But I think some of the derogatory and very misleading conversations that are happening during the commentary, during the games, on social media is something that everybody should reflect upon.
Is it frustrating to see, because I spoke back to Lydia earlier on, Lauren James first spoke about the racial abuse experience at a time at Manchester United. That was such a long time ago. Since then she's been at Chelsea and it seems to be a recurring pattern for her.
Other players can make difficult moments. There were probably other very serious card incidents in the same game, but we don't talk about it in the same way.
Lovely. Sam, just quickly from you, I wanted to ask, I saw there on the drive home, I guess a bit of banter against the fans. Tell me a little bit about that, and I guess the rivalry that you have across the league and the bantering with the fans on the drive home.
Oh, look, I think it's good. I think that is what the women's game has missed for the last 20 years. I love now that, there's 60,000 people, whatever there was on the weekend against us. I think it's amazing for the women's game, and anyone who knows me personally knows that I do all these things on a daily basis. I love to just have fun. Like, you could see me smiling, and of course I hated losing and I hated the performance on the weekend, but at the end of the day, this is football,
And you stated a fact.
Hannah Hampton said to me today, "Gosh, you're such a wind-up," because I was stirring her all day. But look, I think it's great for the women's game. It happens in the men's game, and I think it was funny by the Arsenal fans. I couldn't hear them locally. We had some music on in the car, but I've seen the video now and heard that they were doing their Arsenal chant. But it's good for the women's game, I think. I'd much rather that drive down the street and get heckled by some Arsenal fans than drive down the street and have no fans. So I think it's good for the women's game.
Yeah, and I guess it's healthy competition amongst. You see it not just Arsenal fans heckling you, but equally you see Chelsea fans heckling the other players as well.
Of course, I think it goes both ways. I think there's always a fun side to it, but like Emma said, when it crosses the line, it's obviously not great. But I think good rivalries like that are good for the game and make the game more enjoyable. I mean, I'm a football fan too. I love watching my favourite team and love watching my not so favourite teams lose too. So I'm just like them. I would be in the same position if I wasn't playing football. I'd probably be at a game saying, boo to Chelsea or boo to Arsenal, whoever I supported. But I think it's good for the game, and you need that rivalry to grow the game.
I just wanted to ask a little bit more about Lauren. It's very easy to sort of dismiss online abuse as just being some loser sat behind a keyboard. And we know Lauren is very strong, but this stuff takes its toll. Like, how is she?
No, she's not in a great place, if I'm honest. I think when it starts from broadcasting and the way they speak about things that maybe they need to reflect on, labelling players. She was a young player, she made an error in the summer. Of course, she has to keep learning those things, but they aren't done in single segments. It's always ongoing work, and sometimes some of that you can have really good moments with it, and sometimes not. And when I say she's a young player, there's nothing consistent in some of those things that happen, both in terms of performance and outcomes. But my job as a coach is to keep teaching her to find those levels of consistency and keep challenging her on the important things when, of course, every opponent tries everything possible to get Lauren red carded. That's been clear in every game we've played. And she has to learn to handle that. She has to learn to do that. because when she gets antagonised in a certain way, managing emotions comes with maturity, and that isn't there yet with her. But as I say, it reminds me very much of David Beckham in many ways when he got red carded in the World Cup. I think the treatment of Lauren sometimes is very similar, and I think we have to realise for a young person in a day and age where social media is unbelievably vitriolic, some of the nasty language and labelling and name calling I think goes over the edge, to be honest with you. And then you add racism to that for her, you can understand why her mental health is not the very best place this week.
And with regards to online trolling, for want of a better term, it feels like a conversation we keep having and we keep going around in circles. What more needs to be done? Because it seems to be that every time a high profile incident happens with a player, you sort of expect that there will be some form of online backlash, and that shouldn't really be the norm.
No, but my advice to players are, you play in a game, and if there are controversial moments, delete all your social media for a period of time. I can't control social media. My job is to influence them, and that's my advice to the players. Delete it.